Yesterday we stopped reading at the 9th channel ground of contemplation. Today we will continue with the second component of 4 establishments of mindfulness. Contemplation of feeling. The first one is the body in the body. Now the second one is feelings in feelings. And how, monks, does a monk dwell contemplating feelings in feelings? Here, when feeling a pleasant feeling, a monk understands, I feel a pleasant feeling. When feeling a painful feeling, he understands, I feel a painful feeling. When feeling a neither painful nor pleasant feeling, he understands, I feel a neither painful nor pleasant feeling. When feeling a carnal pleasant feeling, he understands, I feel a carnal pleasant feeling. When feeling a spiritual pleasant feeling, he understands, I feel a spiritual pleasant feeling. When feeling a carnal painful feeling, he understands, I feel a carnal painful feeling. When feeling a spiritual painful feeling, he understands, I feel a spiritual painful feeling. When feeling a carnal, neither painful nor pleasant feeling, he understands, I feel a carnal, neither painful nor pleasant feeling. When feeling a spiritual, neither painful nor pleasant feeling, he understands, I feel a spiritual, neither painful nor pleasant feeling. In this way, he dwells contemplating feelings in feelings internally, or he dwells contemplating feelings in feelings externally, or he dwells contemplating feelings in feelings both internally and externally, or else he dwells contemplating in feelings the nature of arising, or he dwells contemplating in feelings the nature of vanishing, or he dwells contemplating in feelings the nature of both arising and vanishing, or else mindfulness that there is feeling is simply established in him to the extent necessary for bare knowledge and repeated mindfulness. And he dwells independent, not clinging to anything in the world. That is how a monk dwells contemplating feelings in feelings. Footnotes number 39. Feeling, Vedana, signifies the affective quality of experience, bodily and mental, either pleasant, painful, or neither, or in other words, neutral feeling. Examples of the carnal and spiritual varieties of these feelings are given at Majjhima Nikaya 137.9 to 15 under the rubric of the 6 kinds of joy, grief, and equanimity based respectively on the household life and renunciation. Okay. So initially there's pleasant, painful, and neither pleasant nor painful nor pleasant, these 3, and then it can further be divided into these 2, carnal and spiritual feeling. Footnotes number 40. The conditions for the arising and vanishing of feeling are the same as those for the body. See page 442, except that food is replaced by contact, since contact is the condition for feeling. Okay, so this talks more about the link in the dependent origination, how one, the component influence the other component. Sister Chai Guan, would you like to continue reading? Yeah, muted.
Contemplation of mind, and how monks does a monk dwell contemplating mind in mind. Here a monk understands a mind with lust as a mind with lust, and a mind without lust as a mind without lust. He understands a mind with hatred as a mind with hatred, and a mind without hatred as a mind without hatred. He understands a mind with delusion as a mind with delusion, and a mind without delusion as a mind without delusion. He understands a contracted mind as contracted, and a distracted mind as distracted. He understands an exalted mind as exalted, and an unexalted mind as unexalted. He understands a surpassable mind as surpassable, and an unsurpassable mind as unsurpassable. He understands a concentrated mind as concentrated, and an unconcentrated mind as unconcentrated. He understands a liberated mind as liberated, and an unliberated mind as unliberated. In this way, he dwells contemplating mind in mind internally, or he dwells contemplating mind in mind externally, or he dwells contemplating mind in mind both internally and externally, or else he dwells contemplating in mind its nature of arising, or he dwells contemplating in mind its nature of vanishing, or he dwells contemplating in mind its nature of both arising and vanishing, or else mindfulness that there is mind is simply established in him to the extent necessary for bare knowledge and repeated mindfulness, and he dwells independent, not clinging to anything in the world. That is how a monk dwells contemplating mind as mind. Thank you.
Thanks, Sister Chai Guan. Footnotes number 41. Mind, citta, as an object of contemplation refers to the general state and level of consciousness, since consciousness itself is the bare knowing or cognizing of an object. The quality of any state of mind is determined by its associated mental factors, such as lust, hate, and delusion, or the opposites. Footnotes number 42. Okay, this is a pretty long one. The examples of citta given in this passage contrast states of mind of wholesome and unwholesome, or developed and undeveloped character. The pair, contracted and distracted, however, consists of unwholesome opposites, the former due to dullness and drowsiness, the latter due to restlessness and remorse. The commentary explains exalted mind and unsurpassable mind as the mind pertaining to the meditative attainments, the jhanas and the formless states, unexalted mind and surpassable mind as the mind pertaining to sense sphere consciousness. The commentary says liberated mind should be understood as a mind temporarily and partly freed from defilements through insight or the jhanas. Since the practice of satipatthana pertains to the preliminary phase of the path, the commentary holds that this last category should not be understood as a mind liberated by attainment of the supramundane paths. Perhaps, however, this interpretation should not be excluded. So explaining some of the components of the state of mind listed here. And footnotes number 43, the conditions for the arising and vanishing of mind are the same as those for the body, except that food is replaced by name and form, the condition for consciousness. Yeah. We will revisit this again in dependent origination. Okay, so far, any questions or comments for these two? Mind in mind, and previous one, feelings in feelings.
So, brother, can I just confirm, when they say feelings in feelings, that means let's say during our meditation, we have a feeling of, let's say, uncomfortableness. We just be aware of the feeling of uncomfortableness, but we do not dwell into, oh, why am I feeling uncomfortable? Just know that's the feeling of uncomfortableness, right? And then just realize the changing, uncomfortable maybe becomes neutral. And then when it becomes neutral, then be aware that it's become neutral. And then just keep going in and out. Just be aware of that feeling, right? That's what it means, right?
Very good question. Yeah, I think that is how it's supposed to be. One example is that when I meditate, sometimes itch arises in someone's skin. Yeah. So instead of taking my hand and then scratch the itch, I am aware of the itch. Yeah. It was very itchy actually. And just be aware, okay, there's an itch, there's the arising of the itch. Yeah. The itch is getting intense. The itch is getting intense. Interestingly, after a while, the itch actually starts to gradually fades. Yeah, it's not so itchy anymore. And then that is how I notice the itch starts to gradually fades away. Yeah, so the vanishing of the itch. So this is how we can contemplate the arising and the vanishing of the feeling. Yeah. In some cases, you will feel pain probably in your legs after meditating for a while. You can also be aware of that. Yeah. Be aware of how the pain is actually not constant, but it's fluctuating. Yeah. Sometimes it can get very painful, and sometimes it will go away. Yeah. That is how my experience in contemplating feelings in meditation. Very good question. How about others would like to add? Sister Jolie, you want to add anything?
So when we don't feel comfortable, let's say at a certain position, and then we are aware of the feeling, we then shift the feet a little bit just to make the conditions slightly better. Say, for example, right? That's also okay, right? Because you kind of like just shifted just to position yourself, even though you're aware of that.
Okay, that's another good question. A very common question. Will anyone like to answer that?
Yeah, the venerables will say initially, try and observe first. Don't immediately react to it. But in the end, after a long period, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and still doesn't go away, they say you don't have to bear with that excruciating pain throughout the sit. That is not the aim of meditation. The meditation actually is to train our mind, right? But you don't give in so easily. Like every time a little bit of discomfort come up, then you shift, So the training is, you know that, oh, this uncomfortable feeling arise. So you just look at this uncomfortable feeling and look at it, uncomfortable. How uncomfortable? Just sometimes you can just look at it and then say, okay, uncomfortable. Then let's say, shift your focus to the breath or something like that. You distract the mind to another object. Instead of the pain, you have a new object for the mind, which is the breath, or which is something else, or counting. So the mind sort of like go another focus. But a short while later, this feeling comes up again. And then you watch it, and then you watch it. So, but if it's really so painful, the Venerable say, yeah, after a certain time, you can shift your leg, but also with awareness. How, and then after shifting, how this feeling, subside, how this pain goes away or it doesn't go away, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's how the training is. And you don't see the feeling so short here, right? So easy. You just notice, okay, feeling, pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, carnal, physical, then mental and all that. But during our formal training, this is where you really have to put in a lot of effort, because this is where all the funny thoughts will come, all the funny feelings will come. Like myself say, itch, right? Not only itch, I tell you, sometimes then you will suddenly have all these funny thoughts coming up, which you don't, think about, But when you sit down, you just the mind just go here, there, everywhere. It can be things that happened 10 years ago also come, start thinking about the future, start thinking about what you're going to eat later, all these funny things come. And then the body also doesn't like to sit still. So not only leg pain, not only itchiness. Every single little thing, the fan blow a little bit, then you feel cool, cold, then the heat, then you feel that, so hot today, that kind of thing. Everything just comes. So actually, but feeling like what Marcel mentioned, inside this dependent origination is very important, because after contact comes feeling. So if you're able to stop at this feeling, then the aiqi or the attachment or the craving, if you can stop it only at feeling, note that this is feeling, but don't go to the second level of I like this feeling, happy feeling, I dislike this, I reject this unpleasant feeling, because that is the second level, the liking and the dislike. And the third level is when you action already. That means you go and scratch the itch already. That is the third level. So if you can stop at feeling, just look at it as feeling, then you can break the chain of craving, and then craving, attachment, and then become, the kind of the loop. So basically, when contact you cannot prevent, because your sixth sense base, when you contact with, outer, that the consciousness arises, that one you cannot prevent. For example, you cannot prevent yourself when you open your eyes, you cannot prevent yourself from seeing something in front of you, seeing the computer in front of you. You can't, right? But contact give rise to feeling. So for example, you see somebody in the screen that you didn't like, then unpleasant feeling arises. That person, that participant said something bad to me, 5 years ago. That thing comes up. Then do you want to continue with choosing the like and dislike? So you have a choice. If you just stop at the feelings and said, unpleasant feeling arise, okay, let go, and then what's next, that kind of thing. So I think that's how you're supposed to look at feeling in feeling. And then for the mind in mind, that one is also another difficult thing to train, because most of the time we are not aware of this observing mind. So just now it mentions consciousness is there all the time, but mindfulness is not there all the time. So sati, this mindfulness, is actually there, but we are not aware, so it's not there. So we have to bring this awareness up during our formal training, and then bring it to day to also put it into practice, so that we are always aware. So that's why we have to train awareness first. Yeah, awareness of the mind is there. Thank you.
Thanks, Sister Saikyang. Very well explained. Yeah, and I agree with Saikyang as well. Make the uncomfortableness part of the training, especially in this world where distractions are very rampant. in the age of social media, Facebook, Instagram, very easy to scroll through and then lose all of our focus. If we can use this uncomfortableness, the pain in the legs as part of the training, but not to the point of excruciating pain, okay, that would be categorized as torture already. So not to the point of being torturous, but still try to observe and notice the pain arises during meditation. Thanks for the question, Sister Jolene, and thanks for the explanation, Sister Sakyang. Anyone else would like to add? If not, I think we can continue next time. Sister Sakyang, like to do the dedication.
回向，愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了，不愿罪障悉消除，世世常行菩萨道。
Thanks, Sister Sakyang. Till we meet again, may we be guided by the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a pleasant Sunday ahead. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Yes, next time.
Bye.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye.